Hi, welcome to Wellbeing Wednesday. I'm here with the amazing Cami Mappin.
Hey,
So
hi.
inspirational. And
Um,
she's going to talk to us about clarity and why it's important for our students.
Clarity. So I remember when I first started teaching way back when, they would say, always have a learning objective on the board. So I, as the rule follower I am, always had the objective on the board. And I didn't really think much about it. And then this summer, we went through that PD. Everybody did the PD about clarity in the classroom. And they always said, be clear of what your students are learning. I'm like, yeah, I have their learning objective on the board. They're clear. But then they went in and they talked about, do the students know why they're learning what they're learning, and do they know what it looks like, the success criteria? And that made me stop and think, I don't know if my students do. I mean, my students know that we're learning the free time activity questions, or my students know that we're learning about family, but do they know the different steps? Do they know why? And I'm like, no, probably not. And so that made me stop and rethink a lot about what I was doing in my class, and also particularly what I was doing online. And so now, instead of just having the learning objective on the board, I have the learning objective. For example, in my German 1 class, we are talking about free time activities. So the objective is I can ask yes and no questions about free time activities in German, of course. But then they have the next step, which is, why am I learning this? And it's something to the effect of, being able to carry on any type of conversation in German means you can ask yes or no questions. Knowing this basic yes or no questions is a foundation for asking more complicated questions. And that's listed in their slides, so they know exactly why they're learning the yes and no question format. And then the success criteria is also put on that slide, so they know that at the very beginning of class that if they can ask 10 questions, yes or no questions in German without any help, then they've met their expectation, their learning objective. I've found that works really well in my class, but it works even better online because the kids have a checkpoint, so they know exactly why they're doing this 10-point sentence assignment in Canvas. It's not just busy work. The idea, the purpose behind this assignment is always stated at the very beginning. This is the purpose of the assignment, this is why you're learning it, and this is how you know if you have met that target.
It's great. So, yeah, I think it gives meaning to every assignment, and it even makes it a little more authentic. Like, oh, I'm learning these things so I can have a conversation in real life in German.
Yeah. So it's worked so far this year, I think. I think online it's really motivating for the students because they can see their progress, because it's a checkpoint. Hey, I can ask those questions now. I did that assignment. I can ask those, check that off, and then they can move on to the next task. So they're doing a lot of self-assessment based off those success criteria and the learning targets. In class, I think it gives my students more direction in class. Hey, we're doing this little stupid whiteboard game, or, we're playing we're doing this assignment because we're trying to get to this learning target and this success criteria. So I think for some students in class, it's motivating. But even if it's not motivating for them, they know exactly what they're learning and why.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yay.